I have the rare occasion when elected officials will cheer the MTA. Thank you. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. It is Disability Pride Month, and we're here as one of many events that we're hosting to celebrate Disability Pride. I'm Jano Lieber. I'm the MTA Chair and CEO. I'm here with Chief Accessibility Officer and star of the stage and screen, Quimel Arroyo. Ladies and gentlemen, Quimel Arroyo. We are thrilled to be here today to announce the rollout of new accessibility features at the 66th Street Lincoln Center number 1 station. These are going to be coming to subway stations and bus stops all over the West Side, and I'm a West Side kid, and I'm thrilled that we are on the West Side leading the way on this important issue. I have to thank my friend, our partner in the New York State Senate, Senator Brad Hoylman-Sigal, who's been passionate in advocating on the issue of accessibility and, most important, for funding these particular improvements as part of the MTA capital program. So thank you, Senator Hoylman-Sigal. In addition, we have to acknowledge our partnership with Lincoln Center. Miranda Hoffner, who is the Chief Accessibility Officer for Lincoln Center, is here today with us. Lincoln Center is a path-breaking institution in so many ways, and it's really a pleasure that they are our partner in breaking paths to make sure that all New Yorkers can participate in this amazing cultural life around here. Now, accessibility, just to underscore what I think most folks here know, it's been a priority for me personally, and it's center stage at the MTA. You may have heard about the impressive pace that we are making in making our MTA subway stations fully accessible. We've done more during and since the onset of the pandemic, the entire 7 years before the pandemic. We are doing ADA station improvements at a rate 3 times the past. We're doing 12 to 15 a year. That has never been done at the MTA before, and there are dozens more to come in as part of the MTA 2020 to 2024 capital program. It's why we need to keep investing. This is a 100-year-old subway system. It is a treasure that is a legacy from our forefathers and foremothers. We have to keep investing in it to make sure it doesn't fall down, but we also have to keep improving it and upgrading it, and accessibility is a centerpiece of that effort. Now, accessibility is not just about adding new elevators, important as they are. It's also about installing features that serve passengers with disabilities other than mobility issues. And that means innovative upgrades like boarding area decals, tactile subway maps, and Navolence audio translation systems, all of which you're going to be able to find here at the 66th Street station. But true accessibility also requires top-notch paratransit service. That means our Accessoride program that you see the vans, the blue and white vans around New York about, but it also includes now 70% of our paratransit rides are with black cars, with Ubers and other black car services. And that service has been improving dramatically every month under the leadership of my good friend, Quimel Arroyo, star of stage and screen, but also the guy who runs paratransit at the MTA, Chris Pangilinan. Accessoride is seeing record ridership. It's the only MTA service other than the bridges and tunnels, which have brought the traffic back to pre-pandemic levels. But otherwise, paratransit is the only MTA operation that is exceeding pre-COVID levels. And it's also having record positive on-time performance, and that's leading to all-time highs in customer satisfaction. Paratransit customers have never been as happy with our service based on our month-to-month surveys as they are right now. And we are planning to expand the eHail pilot program to triple the number of people who can participate in a program which allows you not just the Accessoride service, but also spontaneous rides with those app-based for-hire vehicle programs. Now, the bottom line is everyone should be able to take advantage of all that New York has to offer. As I always say, for New Yorkers, mass transit is like air and water. We need it to survive. And that means that everybody has to be able to access this. And I am thrilled that the MTA right now, and as long as I'm the chair, that was interesting. Thank you for that. That's the God that some of us believe in, telling us that he or she too believes in accessibility. So no better way to punctuate my remarks than to say, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Q, but not before highlighting the importance of my partner in all things transportation, all things accessibility, the Transportation Commissioner of the City of New York, Adonis Rodriguez. You'll hear from him in a moment. But first, Quamel.
Thank you so much, Dano. Thank you so much. It's truly a pleasure for me to be here. Accessibility is universal. All of us behind the mic here know that. But I'll tell you why this is such an important day for us. Not only because we're celebrating the 33rd anniversary of the signing of the ADA, which is a historic body of law that guarantees people with disabilities access to everything else. Not just to a doctor's appointment, but to go to school, to go to work, to go to a bar at the end of the day, like so many of us enjoy. I am thrilled to be here to thank Senator Hoyman for his vision and leadership coming to us and offering us money to enhance accessibility in his district. You'll be seeing downstairs brand new tactile boardings. You'll see tactile maps. You'll see new boardings at accessible areas. Up here, you can see a swath of QR codes that are really helping low vision and blind pedestrians know where the elevator's located, where the stairs located. But even beyond all the enhancements to the disability community, Senator Hoyman, your tourists are going to benefit dramatically from Navalins. For so many reasons, maybe it be because they don't know how to find the elevators or escalators or the train station or the bus, but because they'll also be getting the information in their native tongue. We will be translating wayfinding information, first of its kind here in New York City, through Navalins, and that is a huge improvement. So thank you for your vision and leadership, guaranteeing us those funds. I'd be remiss if I didn't give our friends in the Senate a shout out, Senator Schumer and Senator Gillibrand, who helped us receive a $2 million SMART grant to enhance Navalins and other wayfinding initiatives citywide. In addition to Navalins, which you'll be able to see when we go downstairs for the tour, we're also rolling out an expansion of Magna Cards, which helps people with emotional or intellectual disabilities learn about the layout of a station before going to that station with 100,000 other people. It teaches them how to become comfortable and knowing the ways for success in navigating our station. So I'm very excited for that. And I want to thank, my staff knows, one of my lines at the MTA is, let me be the sail, the wind behind your sail, and let me part away any obstacle that you have to enhance accessibility. I know that is true because of the leadership that we have in Governor Hochul, but also at the MTA with Jano, who's the wind behind my sails and has been enhancing accessibility since you got here. So thank you, Jano. Thank you all for being here. And next we're going to hear from Senator Hoyman. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, State Senator Brad Hoylman-Siegel, proud to represent the west side of Manhattan from Christopher Street all the way up to West 103rd. And thank you, Chair Lieber and Chief Accessibility Officer Arroyo. Thank you for your advocacy and transforming this amazing mass transit system, the best in the world, into something that's even better for so many of my constituents. So many of my constituents come to Lincoln Center, among other reasons, all across the west side, and of course the entire 5 boroughs. But they will be able to come here now with more accessibility, more tools through which to gain access. And it really is a leveling of the playing field for everyone who uses mass transit, and how appropriate that we're doing it on the birthday of the Americans with Disability Act, that historic legislation that leveled the playing field across the United States of America. And again, as a state senator, I'm so proud of the mass transit efforts that we've seen in Albany, proud to help fund those efforts, proud of our leadership and Chair Lieber, proud at the city level with our DOT commissioner, and also proud to see the state and the city working hand in glove. That's not something we've seen too often in recent years, but this administration, led by Governor Hochul, has worked closely with New York City DOT, and that's something we can all take pride in as well. And also proud that Channel 7 is here, because you had so far to travel in order to make certain that this important event was seen by other New Yorkers. Help spread the word. We're going to make our mass transit system even more accessible with initiatives like this. Thank you very much.
Before we call up our next speaker, I just want to say a couple of words about him. Commissioner Rodriguez, as many of you know, as former council member Rodriguez, has been a huge advocate for accessibility before he became commissioner. He led many bills and legislation that enhance accessibility, but I am most proud of your leadership in expanding accessible pedestrian signals throughout the entire city so that New Yorkers with low vision or who are blind can cross the street independently. We have APS at every intersection all around us. This is one of the most complex intersections in New York. This is called the Lincoln Center bow tie, and it's fully accessible to low vision and blind. And I am so proud that our partnership continues as he and his team continue to help us expand accessibility in the bus systems with these QR codes, in the subways, and it's truly an honor. My friend, Commissioner Rodriguez.
Well, I know that when you look at our good friend, Q, you would think about a leader, an advocate for the community with disability, who used to be in charge of making DOT accountable to work hard to make our intersection accessible, working with the disability community. And I know how close he is with a great chairman that we have at Jano, but I always say Q is not only because we live in a society that people see someone in the wheelchair and also see that person is good to advocate that cause. But Q is also at the board of Open Bound. Q is also at the board of NYU. So he's someone that has no doubt, that have a great work, not only with us at DOT in the past and now with a great chairman. I know how close you two are, and I know how much you will continue doing when it comes to transportation. Guys, we have 1 million New Yorkers who are with physical challenges. And as a person of faith that I am, it's a matter of time, right? If we are so lucky to live enough, and you lost some member of your media, recently, very young person, right? So if we are not in that track, that we go so soon in life, and we are part of this story of individuals that ended in physical challenges. Q used to be in a boarding school. He was riding a mountain bike when he fell, and that's how he ended in the wheelchair. So that could be any of us. Some of us end up being with physical challenges because of the health condition on how we are born and raised. Most is because of the age. It's a matter of time if we live enough that we need some support to take the train, to cross the street, to rely on some support. So, Chairman, and I know that what you're doing today is very important not only for the current generation, but also for the future of New York City. We have no choices. We have to continue making New York City accessible. We are a city of only 350 square miles, and we compete in our street. 80% of New Yorkers, they order once a time through UPS, FedEx, and to get their delivery in the building. Here we are a city that the street has a lot of competition, but when it came to make, our entry to the training station accessible, it's a top priority. Yes, we work with many tools that we working together, the chairman, MTA, and all, we're able to put it in place, and especially the community that are the leaders. So let's give them a big round of applause. We are the one, that been advocating, making us accountable. But this new tool is important not only for people that have physical challenges. Like this tool will help the new immigrant who arrive here to go through the app and be able to translate that information in their languages. So as a city that is getting thousands new immigrant like me, that Spanish is not my native language, but New City give me the opportunity to put me through college, to be a council member, and now to be a commissioner. Those immigrants that we rely on when we order some food to our apartments, they also will be benefit from the new app. So thank you, Chairman. Gracias al Chairman del MTA por el gran trabajo que ha hecho, a Kemuel, al senador y a la comunidad. Esta nueva herramienta que se está poniendo hoy sirve a la comunidad en disability, pero también sirve a la gran comunidad de inmigrantes que acaba de llegar, que no habla el inglés. Cuando haga un clic a esa aplicación, va a poder tener todas las informaciones en todos sus idiomas. Thank you.
I'd like to say a few words in Spanish for our Spanish-speaking televisors, please. Para mí es un gran placer estar aquí junto a mi amigo, el comisionado Iranis Rodríguez del Departamento de Transportación, Senator Brad Hoylman y Jan Oliver de la MTA, expandiendo lo que será el acceso, la movilidad en la ciudad de Nueva York para todos nuestros usuarios, incluyendo nuestros usuarios inmigrantes, y lo cual el inglés no es su primer idioma. Tenemos varios proyectos que estamos aquí expandiendo hoy, mapas táctiles que pueden leer para personas que sean ciegos, y también unos QR codes que pueden ayudar dándole paso de navegación a todos esos usuarios. Así que para mí hoy es un gran día y muchas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Cheers. Councilmember Rodriguez mentioned our advocates. We're going to hear from Sharda Vedubat, who's representing Annalyn Bardier, who's here behind us, the advocates behind me, who really ensure that all that we're doing at the MTA is, in fact, what the community wants to see. So without that, is that? Yeah, Sharda, any remarks?
Oh, thank you. Great. Good morning, Senator, President, Commissioner, Q, my friends at the accessibility team at MTA, and the press. All of you have spoken about the larger picture. As a disability advocate, and most importantly, as a teacher, I'm going to talk about my special needs kids today and how important some of these innovations are going to be. I'm a teacher of the visually impaired at LaBelle School for the Blind, a 4201 school that's located in the Bronx. I'm also a strong disability rights advocate, and I'm thrilled to be here today. In 2019, the students of LaBelle, who are not only blind, but have multiple disabilities, were part of a wide group of stakeholders that tested and provided feedback on apps such as NaviLens, Magnus cards, and the boarding area decals at the Accessible Station Lab. I distinctly recall the reaction of one of my students when he located the boarding area decal. He said to us, "Oh my God, I can actually see the decal. That means I can step into the train all by myself. What a powerful feeling." He further made suggestions on contrast and color that the accessibility team at MTA took into consideration and incorporated. A shout out to the MTA accessible team, guys. Thank you. We all are well aware of the challenges of individuals with autism, especially changes that are related to change and new experiences. Magnus Cards is an extremely powerful tool that we need to tap into. It allows educators, family members, and others to introduce, desensitize, and prepare individuals with special needs before they have to travel the crazy MTA system that we have here. It's a beautiful system, but it's crazy, let's all face it. The other powerful tool about this is that it is in
We're about to get rained on.
multiple languages. Okay, I'll just speed it up. All right, I'm going to show you guys some of the salient features of NaviLens. However, before I do that, I do have to pitch this to all of you. We'd like NaviLens to be installed in the Williamsbridge area of the Bronx. It's a busy place, it has a lot of travelers, and it happens to be housing 3 of the 4201 schools in the New York State.
Thank you so much,
please
Sharda.
do
We're
that.
gonna
Thank
we're gonna
you.
wait for the show and tell down when we're at the station, not outside. Thank you so much, Sharda. I really appreciate your remarks. Channel for Q&A.
Good?
Yeah.
Are we got on topic? Anybody on topic? All right. Greg Mocker on topic. Go ahead, Greg.
Chairman, how were you able to speed up the installation of elevators and the building of them? And could we see that move, the goal, which is 95% by 2055, to make that happen faster?
Well, what we've done is we've adopted all the ways in which we're expediting projects at the MTA and doing all the projects on time and on budget. We used design, build, procurement. We actually plot out where, much more in advance. We do lots of invasive testing to make sure we know where all the utilities are so there are no surprises. We have a project manager on every project so it's clear who's accountable for the budget and schedule. And we insist that the people who build and install the elevators are responsible for maintaining them so that we know that those elevators, if those elevators are down more than they're supposed to be, if they're out of service, the companies get penalized financially. So all those things together are allowing us to deliver projects, including accessibility projects, better, faster, and cheaper.
Anybody else on topic?
Yes.
Anybody else on topic? We gotta go, Greg.
All right.
Andy Ziff, WNBC. Go ahead.
The idea that this is off topic is ludicrous. This is on topic. You have repeatedly said that you need congestion pricing to fund future capital programs like the capital program you use today to enhance accessibility. So since you used an existing capital program without congestion pricing, convince New Yorkers what is the additional funding going to do? Will it accelerate a program like this? Does the congestion pricing funding take care of signals and other types of modernization? Or sort of tell the ridership what it's going to do?
Congestion pricing means less congestion, better air quality, safer streets, and better transit. The better transit part of it definitely includes a lot more stations made accessible with elevators and some of these other features. Actually, congestion pricing is going to fund some of the 70 plus MTA elevators in the current capital program. We need it, we're getting it, we're doing it, and we're going to make sure it benefits New Yorkers.
All right, Kimberly Richardson over there from
Hello, Chairman.
WABC.
Quick question. Yesterday there was an incident here in the subway station. A group of women jumped the turnstile. A woman said something to them, and then the suspect pepper sprayed the victim. She wasn't hurt seriously. What are your thoughts on this turnstile jumping? I know it's been a problem, and on the case in general.
Well, I don't know the specifics of what took place, but the bottom line is we can't have assaults in the transit system. When you point a pepper spray gun at somebody and let it loose, you're actually doing harm that's like punching somebody in the face, and it's not acceptable. And there's a photo of the woman in circulation. She's going to be identified. She's going to be brought in. And I would like to say to Alvin Bragg, the DA, who has his choice about how to prosecute some of these situations, this isn't a high-level assault. And I hope, since he said that he's not so comfortable on the transit system himself, I don't know if he rides, that he would please make sure that the rest of us can feel safe, because New York and New Yorkers depend on the transit system like air and water, needs to be safe, and we need people who commit assaults to be out of the transit system.
Anybody else? Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Let's beat the rain.